Hello, everybody listening to the Fairweather Podcast. Your boy at 2K Suave. I am joined with A-Rod, a.k.a. Mr. Torpedo, a.k.a. Two Chains, a.k.a. old cheating ass Yankees. All right. How you doing, A-Rod? You're listening to the Fairweather Podcast, y'all. It's me and A-Rod. We're back.
OGs.
The OGs is in the building today. The Knicks are playing right now. Are the Yankees playing right now?
Yeah, both.
Yankees is playing with their regular bats, I hope.
Hey, I don't want to hear it. That's my crazy, wacky thing. Is everybody bitching about the torpedo?
We have a whole segment dedicated to your torpedo bat, so we'll get to it. But yes.
That's my crazy, wacky thing. Is everybody wants to beat up on the Yankees and point fingers at Aaron Judge, who's not using a torpedo bat. And when we're going to get to it, but when baseball can't get it right, they'd introduce something like this, and of course the Yankees are going to take advantage of it. And as are every other team in baseball taking advantage of it. But hey, hitters can hit. I can't say for the rest of the slobs that are using the bat. So it's not just my team using it. We're just the successful team using it. So let's leave that there.
We'll get I'll save my thoughts for later. Shout out to the Yankees.
My business.
Shout out to the Yankees. Yeah, it's that time of year. We got a lot of shit going on right now. I didn't even write. We just got a lot of shit to get to. So I'm gonna just go ahead with your crazy, wacky, funny. Cause my crazy, wacky, funny is gonna be something to kind of just brush upon real quick because we haven't talked about it in a couple weeks. But go ahead. What you got? Oh yeah, the torpedo bats.
Mine was the rest of the MLB fan base complaining and whining about torpedo bats when their teams are using it too, and they just suck at hitting. So
shout out.
Crazy thing I heard was from Mike Wilbon and Kornheiser today. They said last year only 7 batters hit above 300. That is wild to me. Last year only 7 batters above 300.
What sport do you think over the last, like from our childhood to now, what sport do you think has drastically changed the most? Because NBA, we got a lot of threes. Football is a lot of passing yards. And baseball is a lot of home runs or strikeouts. And nobody's batting over. Like 7 people, that's insane. Like if you have to put it, like what sport do you think has changed the most?
I think it's the big 3 for us. Those 3 sports right there that you just named, they've drastically changed.
Put them in order.
I can't. They both have. I mean, personally, for me, it would be baseball. It would be baseball because every time I watch a game with my dad, he looks at like players like Brandon Lowe or somebody up there, and they're starting. And they're batting like 230, 240. My dad's like, this guy would have never been on the team. He would have been like a platoon guy or something like that. But this guy would not be hitting. If you're not hitting above 350, that was always my norm. If you're hitting above 350 or 250. Then you're a decent hitter. But like now everyone's batting like 230, 240, and that's the norm. But 7 players last year to hit above 300 is wild.
That's wild. That's insane. That's really insane. 7? I mean, I know Luis Arias is one of them, but I can't even think who else would it be? Ohtani?
Probably Ohtani.
Mookie Betts.
Judge was probably close to it. I don't know. I don't want to play.
Judge was like in the Triple Crown race, so he has to be one. That's crazy.
That's wild. It's wild to think that, man. That's what the game has come to. It's become more power, and more strikeouts. And just like basketball, it's like more 3-pointers. And then, like you said, in football, it's like passing yards. It's wild to see the evolution of the sport. So,
see, more power. That's why I got these fake ass bets. Anyway, all right. Let me get to mine real quick. Mine is not really any crazy, wacky, funny. I just kind of want to talk about well, it is kind of a crazy stat. All right, the NCAA tournament has come down to a Final Four, both men's and women. The women's tournament is here in Tampa, and we got all 8 number 1 seeds. Like 4 number 1 seeds in the men's tournament, 4 number 1 seeds in the women's tournament.
I had a feeling this year was going to be like that. I had a feeling, and I was like, no, this never happens.
Yeah.
Don't, but I should have listened to what I was thinking this time.
And it's like, what that kind of brings me to real quick, because like, I want to get your who you got winning the whole thing, but it's like, do you think that has something to do with like NIL? Like, it's like the Cinderella shit doesn't seem like it's gonna be a thing anymore because all the best players have hit the transfer portal. Like they opened up the transfer portal already in the middle of the tournament. All the best players are going to where the money is at, and you're not gonna get $1 million at Murray State. Like Ja Morant probably would have transferred. You know what I mean? Like CJ McCollum would have probably transferred from Lehigh. I don't know. Like I feel like all the superstars that we grew up with that came from like those mid majors, Steph Curry. I don't know. Maybe he would have left Davidson. I mean, he already came from money because his dad played in the NBA. But like it's just weird to see like those like there was like the Cinderella was a 10 seed Arkansas. They're an SEC team. They're not really a Cinderella, and their coach is John Calipari. Like that was the Cinderella basically. Like that's crazy. You think like the NIL got something to do with all these number one seeds just dominating the tournament?
I mean, should have never made you should have never made a video game. Okay? Should have never made a video game and have these kids' names and shit used. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's
more than just a video. I mean, it is you selling my jersey,
true.
You selling my autographs. But like this is not what they thought the NIL was going to become.
Well, college or NCAA really fucked up. So it's like it's time to reap what you sowed. At the end of the day, the chickens have come home to roost. You've been taking advantage of these kids for so long and getting their basically getting away with not paying these kids or them reaping anything. You get free education, and you're going to the league, so this isn't your priority. Well, half the time, none of these kids ever go to the league. Most of them.
More than half.
Yeah. So, look at guys like, first one that sticks in my head is Juan Dixon. Juan Dixon was a tournament darling, and what he did for the Maryland Terrapins during that time, I remember the run, everything. And then when he went to the NBA, he went to the Wizards and just fizzled out, disappeared. So
learn Chinese, buddy.
Yeah. So it sucks, but I have no remorse for the NCAA. I think this sucks because kids are gonna chase the money as they should. But it's like you opened up this can of worms, and sucks to suck. That's all I can say.
All right, give me your prediction. Who you got winning it all?
Duke. It's got to be Duke. It's got to be Duke.
Why Duke? Because we got 4 number one seeds. Florida, that kid, his name escapes my mind right now. That light skinned dude.
Kid from
Iona. He's a shit. He's for real.
Game.
Houston, they all run 5-minute miles. And in Auburn, when they hot, they hot. And Duke, obviously, they got the best player. Like, that's just what it comes down to. So you think best player over, all those other teams? You think that's what it comes down to?
I think it goes by program and what has been happening lately. I like the movement of Houston. They've been trending upwards too lately. Houston and Duke are probably the guys that I'm looking for to do good in the rest of the way and be in the tournament. So I feel like Auburn, they're great, but that's a little bit new.
Yeah.
And then who's the other one? Oh, Florida. Like, man, just when you thought they were out the other day, I couldn't believe that. Down by 10 and then came back and won.
Walked them down like a dog.
Texas Tech, like, talk about Ja Morant, show me a gun. That was show me a gun moment right there. I can't.
They just folded on national TV for everybody to watch. I'm literally just watching this shit happen. I'm like, they really about to lose this game. Like, it's only a couple minutes left. Hold on. But that's when it comes back to the fact that these are college kids. No matter how much NIL they get, they still, some of them 27 years old, they still think like collegiate athletes and they do collegiate things. So
Yeah, your boy Dickinson now for Kansas is going back to college again for a 7th year eligibility.
Get out of here.
It's wild. This is the thing I have.
Hunter Dickinson's going back to college?
Think so.
He about to get a bag, too. Because I watch him play, I'm like, he's not going to translate well to the next level, at least NBA-wise. He'll be a good glue guy on a team, but he'll get more money at Kansas.
I said the same thing about Timmy, and look at him now on Brooklyn just shining. So
hey, but this is garbage time. Like this ain't, this is like, all the bench players are in.
garbage team. This is where you start to shine, man. This is where you got to take advantage.
It's true. But remember that G League player from the Lakers that was like 35 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, this shit just happened, bro. It's the end of the season.
Yeah. So I mean, get where you can, especially with the Brooklyn Nets. So you don't know what route they're going. So
I hate the Brooklyn Nets. They're such a trash organization. Like, yeah, they're just bad. All right. So you got Duke. So I made 3 versions of brackets. I got Duke winning, I got Florida winning, and in one bracket I got Houston winning. So, I could go with. I don't think Auburn's gonna win. If it comes down to it, I think Auburn is the odd man out. If I had to put it in order how I see it, I'd probably go Florida number 1. And I'll go Florida number 1, Duke just right behind. And even though I think Houston can very well win it, Houston has broken my heart so many years in a row on brackets and stuff. So I'm just waiting for them to do this shit again. So I'll say Florida or Duke. Because who plays who? It goes Florida versus Houston, right? Or no?
I'm looking at it right now. It's Auburn versus Florida, Duke versus Houston.
Auburn versus Florida. Yeah, Florida gonna wax that ass. And Duke versus Houston?
I don't think so. I think Auburn has got some tricks up its sleeve, man.
Auburn, they're the only team that's number 1 that they haven't impressed me at any point during the tournament. Like they played well, but they haven't I watched Houston play lockdown defense. I watched Florida dominate teams and win close games when it counts. Like I've seen both sides. And then Duke, they've just been the best team in the tournament by a mile. Like the way they've been playing. Auburn, I get bored. I don't know. I just get bored watching them play. I don't know what it is about.
Is Bruce Pearl the head coach or?
Yeah, it's Bruce Pearl.
Bruce Pearl's that dog, bro. I love Bruce Pearl. So.
I don't know, man. It's just something about Auburn that I don't trust. So, so you said Florida versus Auburn. I like Florida, and then you said Duke versus Houston. That's a good one.
Be a game. That's gonna be a game.
Houston, good one. Shit. All right, and then in the women's, you probably don't pay attention, but Paige Buckers, I'm rooting for you. Go ahead and end this collegiate career on a high note. I was hoping to get a Juju Watson versus Paige. Huh?
I said go UConn all day, man.
Yeah, because you pick UConn in your bench bracket, so you gotta get your get back on the women's side.
The women's program is good. It's just crazy to know that they're no longer as dominant as they used to be because now everybody's got an NIL deal now, so you can easily beat them. So
that's a fact. That's a fact. All right. Let's make some moves over to the National Basketball Association. We're going to kick things off with a bit of Who Do You Love, because it's been a while since we did it. Sammy, Mr. Who Do You Love himself, should be here because we wanted to honor Mr. Carmelo Anthony. Does he have a middle name?
He does. I don't know what it is.
Carmelo Kayam. Kayam or Kayam? I don't know. It's Kyam. Carmelo Anthony has officially been notified that he will be first ballot Hall of Famer. And you want to talk about we feel old? This is another reason I feel old. When I wake up and my knees hurt a little bit. I'm like, damn. We talking about the NCAA tournament just now, and that shit started off like one of my earlier memories of NCAA tournaments. Carmelo Anthony is one of the ones. I remember Bettine Cleaves, Michigan State one was one that kind of stood out for me. But and then some of the UNC stuff back in the day. Jay Williams and Duke. But like this, Carmelo Anthony, what he did that freshman year at Syracuse with him and King Warwick and a white boy that can shoot with coach, what's his name, Boeheim. That's his name, right? Jim Boeheim.
Jim Boeheim.
That shit was like dope as hell to watch, and it's crazy. Like that happened 22 years ago. I was like in middle school. I was in 8th grade when that shit happened.
Yeah.
And now I'm like grown, and this dude was a first ballot Hall of Famer. D Wade's already in the Hall of Fame, and LeBron's out here still chasing shit. But no, shout out to Carmelo Anthony. But conversation in our group chat was kicked off because Sammy wasn't all the way impressed. With Carmelo Anthony. He never said he doesn't believe he should not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he was hedging his bets, in my opinion. He was saying things like, well, if his name wasn't Carmelo Anthony, I'm like, his resume speaks for itself. So let's kind of just really quickly, before we do our Who Do You Love, I'm just going to give you his resume. 10-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA second team, 4-time All-NBA third team. He was a 2013 scoring champ, All-Rookie first team. He's on the NBA 75th anniversary team. Obviously, and mind you, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. NCAA champion in 2003, Final Four most outstanding player in 2003, second team All-American that year as well, freshman of the year. His jersey got retired at Syracuse. He's the 2-time USA Male Basketball Athlete of the Year. All-American in high school.
Or so that snake Kevin Durant wanted to play more, so don't want to team, but he'll play for his country.
Hey, but shit, sometimes you got to get the gold how you can get the gold, right? So Mr. Olympian, Carmelo Anthony. One of my favorite Carmelo Anthony memories is when he beat the dog shit out of Nigeria. That one was that one was conflicted. He had like 10 threes or 8 threes in that game. I'm like, bro, we can't stop. As a Nigerian, I'm like, man, we can't stop this shit.
I got so many Carmelo Anthony memories, man. I remember the first drawstring bag I had was a Carmelo Anthony one. That was the very first one I had. I remember his draft day with LeBron. I remember fucking Detroit looking so dumb not drafting him.
How do you think his career would have been though? Like people were like, oh, he wouldn't be the same. I'm like, bro, he's still Carmelo Anthony. He would have taken over that team at some point.
Yeah, he would have. And he would have taken Tayshaun Prince's job real quick, that's for sure, if that were the case. But yeah, the one that sticks out to me the most of Carmelo Anthony, though, I don't know if it was just because I was so asphyxiated into basketball that time and wanting to watch that game so bad, was the St. Patrick's Day game against Derrick Rose, where he pulled up and made it in his face at the end, and then we got the birth of the three.
Yeah, I got chills.
You were. I remember where I was. I just got out of work when I was working at Champs, and I went to. You remember where the pub was at the mall at International? Yeah. The pub. I went to the pub. I went upstairs. There was a TV on. Nobody in the room, and I'm sitting there drinking, just chilling, watching that game. And I remember I was the only person losing my mind the whole time, and it was just a good feeling. But
yeah.
Definitely one of my top 3 favorite players, if not one of my favorite Knicks, and I'm happy for him, man. He deserves it all. Like, there's no way. And I know you're gonna allude to Sammy's thought process behind all of this, but definitely deserves it.
One of my actually favorite. So that one. Shout out to Mike Breen being like the New York Knicks, like him being the voice of New York Knicks. You can't like. He probably doesn't get paid enough because his bang pause is like that shit with Melo in the Garden, that shit just hit different. But this when he was in Denver, I remember I this is like early Facebook years for me. Like I just got a Facebook, and this is when he was with the Nuggets. He stole like the inbound pass. He stole I think he stole the inbound pass and like I forgot who it was like open. It was opening week, and he dunked it on whoever, and he just had the crowd to electrify. And I don't know what it was about that dunk, but I like believe it or not, I was a Melo fan before I was a LeBron fan.
Same.
You know how I feel about LeBron. You know how I feel about LeBron. I was such a diehard Melo fan early on in his career because like that Syracuse shit just was like amazing to me. And you just I watched the way he like all right, he's not gonna ever be known for being the best defender. Like okay, whatever, cool. But the way he's able to get into his bag, and you ask any defender in the NBA, Tony Allen, Bruce Bowen, ask them all, who's your toughest cover? 9 times out of 10, if they don't say Kobe, they're saying Carmelo Anthony. It's just it's a Carmelo Anthony, maybe T-Mac, but it's like he's always going to be mentioned in that top 3 of just the toughest people to cover in the NBA. So that's kind of what brought me to kind of like how I crafted my who do you love today, because I picked players. None of the players that I have on here have won a championship because Sammy said all that scoring can't win a championship. I'm like, it's not that easy. You know what I mean? Like, you as a Knicks fan, you haven't seen it. Me as a former probably Sixers fan, we got a good chance of capturing the flag though. We got a top 5 chance. Yo, talk about tanking. Yo, Philadelphia 76ers, all these teams that they need to get investigated for tanking. We need to get investigated for tanking. We shut that shit down a month and a half ago, and I think they've lost every game. But anyway, we haven't even seen a championship. I know how hard it is to win a championship, so I don't like this whole theory of like D Wade was talking about him versus James Harden, anyway. I picked these players for who do you love now. I know how. That's why I wanted Sammy to be on here, right? I know how you feel about Melo. I know how I feel about Melo. However, we're gonna just go off of take our fandom out of it. Whose career do you love more? Okay, whose career do you love more? So, the first opponent for Carmelo Anthony is going to be a very similar player, similar trajectory in life, except for the college thing. Tracy McGrady. Now, one thing about Tracy McGrady, growing up, my favorite player is Allen Iverson, and then it was Tracy McGrady, and then LeBron James, and Melo and all that shit. But like Tracy McGrady is like one of my favorite players of all time. So I want to hear what you say. Whose career would you have rather had? You want me to give you like some of his quick highlights?
These are my 2 favorite players of all time. So this is like the hardest thing for me.
All right.
And I'm taking my fandom out of it. If it were to be for me, I think I would give Melo the slight edge over it because he has that. We're talking about like
the whole thing. AAU, all of it.
He has that college championship, freshman of the year, which is a hard thing to win, and especially to win a national championship too. I think I would slightly give it over Melo. Injuries plagued T-Mac towards the end of towards the middle of his career, where he was in his prime and he was budding, and then once you went to Houston, it just kind of
the back spasms.
Yeah, that's it for me. Other than that, I give a slight edge over to Carmelo.
So like, what T-Mac had against him, his early years in Toronto, he was like,
he wasn't that guy.
He wasn't there. Like people talk about like, Kobe, right? Kobe's first couple years in LA, it was Eddie Jones, and T-Mac's first few years in Toronto, it was Vince Carter and it was Doug Christie. It was David Stoudemire.
It wasn't even Vince Carter. Vince Carter was the year after.
I know. I'm just saying, but all the players that were like that they valued over him. David Stoudemire, Vince Carter, Doug Christie. Trying to remember who. Like, just they never really like Plus, this is '97 when he got drafted out of high school. Remember at that time that was like Kobe, Kevin Garnett, T-Mac. Like, all of them started off a little kind of like, all right, let's get your feet wet a little bit. Like, LeBron's like the first high school that was just like, here you go. Here's the kingdom.
Have at it. I mean, yeah, I mean, there was some other ones too, but yeah, for the most
Out
part,
of high school,
some of these
they
guys,
just gave out of high school, they just gave the kingdom to you.
Dwight Howard.
Go look at his rookie year. It was not that great. Like, plus he was a big man too. Like they gave the keys. Like, here you go, Mister Ohio.
Yeah, I mean that's another one. That's the different beast. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
But
very few.
T-Mac's peak though, Orlando.
Okay. I found this on the
some of
Houston. Very, very few.
That was me. He 7-time All-Star, 2-time NBA first team. So he has 2 All-NBA first teams. Melo doesn't have any first teams. He also has 3 All-NBA second teams and 2 All-NBA third teams. So combined, he has 7 All-NBA teams. And Melo has 6. And scoring champion twice, Melo once. Most improved player. He had a number retired in China. Shout out to him. That one's just a weird one because like he doesn't have the Olympic success that Melo has. He doesn't have like the longevity that Melo has because like his career total of points is 18,381. Melo's at 28,010th all time. So it's like that was a weird one for me. That one was tough for me as well. Slight edge to Carmelo Anthony because of everything else. But if we talk about just, like the T-Mac's prime years, dog, it was. I remember when we were in middle school and shit like that. Everybody was like, "Oh, T-Mac and Kobe, T-Mac and Kobe." I was a T-Mac guy, so I was like, "Oh yeah, T-Mac definitely over Kobe." So yeah, I'll give that one to Melo. But that one was actually pretty tough for me. All right, this one. He is known as the Knicks killer, Mr. Spike Lee choke artist. He scored 25,000 points in his career. He's a 5-time NBA All-Star. He's All NBA 3 times. He's also on the NBA 75th anniversary team, and he's a 50-40 club member, 50-40-90 club member as well. His name is Reggie Miller. Now, what we know about Reggie Miller's career, we already know Melo's. Reggie Miller has made it to NBA Finals once. He won an Olympic championship. But outside of that, it was just a lot of amazing moments against Jordan and against the Knicks. And then Melo is just a lot of scoring for his whole career. So whose career, take everything out of it, your fandom, whose career would you rather have? Because like they both have pretty polarizing careers when you think about it. You're on mute, brother.
This one's a tough one too. Reggie comes from basketball lineage, obviously, with his sister, and his parents were athletes too. And he played in an era of basketball that I think is from the 80s to the 90s. It was like that.
The golden era. It was a golden era.
It was the good old days.
Get off my lawn.
Kids will never know. Kids will never know.
Be done with the 90s.
And he could play defense too. He was a good all around player. I would say for me, and I want to give it to the era that Reggie Miller came in. I would give it a little bit slight edge to Reggie Miller just because that era of toughness that he had to go through, and stuck as a lifer with that organization.
Yep.
I mean, when you think of the Indiana Pacers, if Reggie Miller isn't the first name that you think of immediately, that's like asinine to me to think that.
Nah, because you ask these children today, Paul George is their GOAT. Paul George is their GOAT. So.
I know. Paul George trash, but like Reggie Miller, that I remember it was like Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, Derek McKee, Antonio Davis.
You know
They
what's
had Chris
crazy? The
Mullin.
second name you mentioned was Rick Smits. That was the second name I thought of too. Why is that? Why
The,
is Rick Smits the second name I
the
thought of?
Duncan Dutchman played his career there too. That should be another guy that is thought of as well.
Dale and Antonio Davis.
Yeah, Jeff
Jalen Rose got there. Travis Best.
Jalen Rose, I feel like when he was there, he was very underappreciated because
For sure.
he was like the Paul George of that team. It was Reggie's team, but Jalen Rose was scoring. I would give it slightly just because the era that he grew up into, the era right after was still a little bit gritty, but that was kind of like the passing of the torch of the old guys to the new guys, kind of like how we're going to have to see now who's going to be the ones to run off with that torch. We were in good hands at that point. At that time in our lives, we were too young to think like, oh, is the NBA going? We were just happy to have like a LeBron James and a Carmelo.
We weren't worried about legacies. Like, oh, how does this impact his legacy? And oh,
now
we didn't have debate shows every day. It was different.
Now this is real because we've been into this, we've seen it. Yeah, I'd give just a little bit of a tad because Reggie has been to the finals. Reggie played in a tough era. Reggie has a USA medal, and I don't know how deep I know he was pretty good at UCLA when he was there. So I don't know how deep they went into college basketball and things like that.
He's a two-time first team All Pac-10. He's an NIT MVP.
They're not in
the tournament. He's that. The NIT did mean a lot more in the 80s though than it meant now. It obviously it wasn't an NCAA tournament, but it actually meant a little bit more at that time. And he's also in 2002, he was the USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year. Go figure.
Another thing too is people don't realize before Steph and before Ray, this was the shooter. He as much as we credit Ray and Steph, now more Steph than the other two, they all pay homage to one another. They know what type of shooters they were. So
for sure. And when Reggie got passed in threes by Steph, he was there in attendance to go see that, and that meant a lot to Steph. So that's how you know the impact, how much impact he had. That one's tough because how I look at the 90s in the NBA, and you probably let me explain. You watched wrestling a little bit, right?
What?
The WWE, the WWF actually. The attitude era of the WWF is how I see 90s basketball. I'll put that shit together. Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller and Patrick Ewing and John Starks and all that shit with Stone Cold and The Rock and Triple H and Undertaker. Like, that's how I saw it. And then the next era was, like you said, was still kind of gritty. The next era in the WWE was called the Ruthless Aggression era, which was still not. It wasn't an attitude, but it was still kind of there. So I see it the same way, and the attitude era for me in the WWE or WWF is very nostalgic for me. So if I look at it from like, if I'm a little kid, who would I like want to be more like? Would I want to be more like a Carmelo or want to be more like a Reggie Miller? I probably, damn.
It's a tough one.
If I was an alien, you dropped me off of Mars, and I'm like, I saw both of these two play. Who's gonna get me out of my seat for it? Damn. I'm gonna give that shit to Reggie, bro. Nah, I love Carmelo Anthony. I can't do it.
You have to respect.
Give it to Reggie. Because one thing that you mentioned, when you think of Indiana Pacers, he's the first person that you think of. And later in his career, he was somebody who stuck it out, right? And he actually had a chance to win it a few times later in his career, but Tayshaun Prince blocked him one time, and then the Mouse and the Browns happened the next year. And that was the end of it for him. Because for somebody to be there that long and almost pull it off, that's such a good feeling. again, an NBA Finals appearance, a lot of like if anybody was gonna beat Jordan in the '90s, the Indiana Pacers had the best chance. Everybody says like they were the best team suited to beat that Chicago Bulls team. The bigs that they had, Reggie was not scared of Michael Jordan by any means. He wasn't scared of nobody. He walked into Madison Square Garden and taunted y'all for a few years. So shout out to Reggie. That was tough. I'm gonna get on with Reggie. 25,000 points as well. Like, yeah, what a baller, bro. What a baller.
We don't speak about as much either. This is wild.
I know. And his post career, like Carmelo's doing podcasts his post career, which is like today's version of like players in the past going into broadcast booth. Reggie Miller has built out a career on TNT. He's done such a good job with him and Kevin Harlan do such a good job. So I love how they both transition into the next part of their career. The only edge I give Carmelo Anthony is that he was with Lala. So, you know, I heard she tastes like Cheerios. So
from fucking KG.
Let me chill out, bro. All right. This next player, similar to T-Mac, from Florida. He's from Daytona Beach. He's an 8. Was regarded supposed to be the next coming of Jordan. The high flying was there. The UNC bald. We talk about Vince Carter, y'all. 8-time NBA All-Star. All NBA second team once. All NBA third team once. Rookie of the year. Rookie all first team. The greatest slam dunk competition performance we ever seen. Debatable. Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine might have something to say about that, but the greatest slam dunk I've ever seen when he did that little reverse windmill bullshit. Oh my God, that shit changed the course of the slam dunk competition. He has his jersey retired by 2 teams. He won a sportsmanship award. He played 22, 23 years. Yeah, he played a long time. Longevity was there.
Went to the finals once.
Who did he go to the finals with?
The Nets.
He didn't go. He wasn't on that team. He wasn't on that team.
Oh wow.
He's never been to the NBA. So his career and Carmelo's career very similar because they went to the finals 2 years in a row. He got rid of Kenyon Martin, and they needed somebody, so they went and got Vince Carter. And then that Nets team never, because they made it 02-03. They lost to the Lakers and then the Spurs. He got there 04, and he was in Orlando. Never made it. Yeah, he never made it. Dallas, he wasn't on that team though. He showed up to Dallas right after they won. He showed up to New Jersey right after they got to the finals. So yeah, he had bad luck with picking teams right after they got good. Orlando, he got to Orlando right after they made it to the NBA Finals. He went to 3 teams the year after they made it to the finals and they couldn't get back. So, yeesh. But also 25,000 point score. Also, talk about Olympics. The greatest dunk in the history of sports happened in the 2000 Olympics against what was his name, Frederick Weiss, in the Sydney Olympics when he jumped over a 7-footer in an in-game dunk. They do this shit for slam dunk competitions to be cool. He did this shit in a heated battle because it was naturals.
With hair. Now, hair.
When his shit looked all fucked up, but hey, he had hair. Whose career would you rather have? Carmelo Anthony's career or Vince Carter's career?
Man, that's a tough one. I feel like both of them are just perfect. That's the best example you could give it to me. And they're both known as for something. Like we know Vince Carter as Air Canada, probably the most marketable player of his time. When he came into the league.
Half amazing. You got the dunks.
He jumped from Puma. He jumped from Puma, went to Nike, introduced us to the Shock basketball shoe.
Shock, yeah.
Yeah, and we knew him for his dunks.
Pump him up, bitch. You gotta pump him up. I'm gonna jump higher, dog.
he had the Boeing commercial on Pat. We knew him for his dunks, and then later in his career, we knew him for his three-pointers.
Yeah. And he
Vince
dunked on
Carter-
Alonzo Mourning, who nobody dunks on Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah, he did Alonzo Mourning. And then you have Carmelo Anthony, who's just a prolific scorer, and also a person I thought would have been a lifer with the Nuggets, and decided I got to get out of here because we ain't winning anything, and went back home to New York. So, I don't know. I'd probably stick with my fandom here and stick with Carmelo, but either answer to me is right because they both had amazing careers. They're both pretty much the same wavelength of everything. I may give it slightly a little bit more to. Actually, no, I'd stick with Carmelo because when you look at his resume, 3 Olympics and NCAA championship.
4 Olympics.
4 Olympics. NCAA champion, scoring champion. It's a toss up, man. I don't care, to be honest with you, but both amazing players, and I think that's the best comparison we can look at right there. As far as
gun to your head, you gotta pick one. You pick Carmelo.
Carmelo. Going Carmelo just because outside of the NBA of what all he's done as well.
If you ask me, gun to my head, whose resume I'd rather have, take Carmelo. Who I'd rather be, I'd much rather take Vince Carter, dog. Vince Carter, the shit he did in small sample sizes was just like you can't. It's hard to put in words. It's like, dog, the dude jumped over 7-footer for fun. He has the slam dunk competition unlocked. Like, yeah, I'll take Melo's resume every day, but just the impact, I'm taking Vince Carter. I'm taking Vince, and I put James Harden down. I'm gonna skip that because James Harden's career is not over yet, but his career might end up being the same as Melo's, if not better. So
he's got MVP. Melo doesn't have an MVP.
He's got an MVP too. So that's why I'm gonna just leave that one alone. All right, let's talk about some what's happening right now in the NBA. NBA playoff picture is starting to run into shape. Got like 7 games left, basically across the board. And a lot of the excitement is definitely in the West. In the East, let's be honest. Like, before I get to the West, does Boston have any competition? And I want you to be objective. How do you feel? Because, like, right now, it's y'all in Cleveland, and then there's a drop off after that. It's Boston, gap. Y'all in Cleveland, gap. Gap. Do you think it's Boston's, like, it's a cut, or do you realistically feel that your Knicks or the Cleveland Cavaliers can really push this? Because this ball, bro, I've seen it up. Al Horford scored 27 points. They got white boys I never heard of scored 40, 30 points. They got everybody. It's like they're playing around with lineups. They don't even play the whole roster. It's literally driving me crazy. But you think it's Boston to lose, or do you feel like maybe?
Man, I'm scared for the Knicks. I know I said playoffs is a different beast, and hopefully we can prove that. But this is a newer team that we put together for this season, and we haven't beat the Cavs or the Celtics, and we're losing to the Cavs now. We were up by 10, so
y'all up by a lot. Now y'all down 16. Jalen Brunson's not there, to y'all credit though. So yeah, he's the heartbeat to me in that team.
But they got to step it up. In the East, yeah, I feel like it's us three of the top three. But you know what happens every year in the East? It's always somebody that pops out of nowhere, like the Hawks or the Pacers or this team that just gets to the Eastern Conference Finals somehow. And you know, to credit them for getting there, but they probably shouldn't have been there. Some team slipped up, did the wrong thing, should have zigged when they zagged, and then went out. So, and usually it's us, is who it is. So
and you know who I'm looking at? That Detroit Pistons team, dog. we didn't get to talk about the fight. We didn't get to talk about the fight.
Isaiah Stewart is a dog, bro.
That is the most. We're talking about the East. That's the most entertaining thing about the East is the first of all what Bickerstaff has done with this Pistons team, what Monty Williams was not able to do with that team last year, and he was like the way he just kind of just abandoned the team basically. He's like whatever, and the way Bickerstaff turned that shit around like that, kudos, right? So the resurgence of the Pistons is one thing, but these motherfuckers, dog, they are down for whatever, dog. Beat me in the alley,
coach. But you got to bring in like a young-minded guy, not a God-fearing man like a Monty Williams in there.
Yeah,
great hire, but that's just not the guy for the team.
It's
when you
hard,
got
it's hard to leave like
Jared Jared Duran there, like those aren't the guys for him.
Bro, as a beef stew, that's what they call him. First of all, what were your thoughts on the fight? Let's just because like the East, like I want the West is that's what I want to talk about, but. To me, the only thing that's interesting in the East is the fact that the Pistons are still fighting people. So what we heard, first of all, shout out to Dante DiVincenzo, standing up for his guys. I knew he still had that Philly bull to him, that Villanova bull to him, because I saw a lot of that gangster in him in Villanova. But him still got that gangster in him. Shout out to him. But anyway, what were your thoughts on the scrap or the kerfuffle that happened?
Isaiah Stewart's always looking to fight whenever he can, man. That's all whenever I see Isaiah Stewart, at first I thought like very well undersized big man who plays the game of basketball at the small forward position as a center power forward. And then over the years I just said junkyard dog. That's all I see. Yeah, that's all I see is like the second coming of Jerome Williams but with hands. So yeah, man, he definitely fits the mold of the Pistons bad boy routine.
I love it. I love it.
Most loved, but he gives me 90 basketball vibes. Like he's gonna stand up for your team, your teammates. So I got the fight. I think it just escalated a little bit too much, but just the presence of Isaiah Stewart takes it to another threshold. So,
bruh, the first time he felt felt blood after LeBron elbowed him or whatever. From that moment on, they have not been able to cage his brother. He's been pissed off ever since. And the way he was ready to, I mean, he's young. This is like 3 years ago. He's a young pup. He was ready to kill LeBron James. Like LeBron James. He was ready to LeBron James. He was ready to kill him. From that moment on, I said, don't mess with that dog. Don't mess with that brother. Gilbert Arenas talks about this story all the time. Gilbert is I'm a media guy, like Charlamagne. I'm a media guy. Isaiah Stewart pulled up on Gilbert Arenas and like, hey, my teammates ain't here right now. He was ready to fight Gilbert Arenas in the stands. Like, Isaiah Stewart is crazy. I've never seen a highlight from him that's basketball related. It's always somebody getting punched, yoked up, kicked in the ball. I don't know what it is. It's just like he's not Draymond Green, where Draymond Green would get you a triple-double at least and do all the extracurriculars. Isaiah Stewart is there to scare the shit out of you. And that fight was just a reminder, like, you can't punk this team. And to me, I look at them right now, how everything's playing out in the East. They're a 5 seed. They'll play the Pacers in the first round. That's what it's shaping up to be. I'm pretty sure that's a lock at this point. Them versus the Pacers. Pacers are a pretty boy team that high flying, cute, shoot threes, da-da-da-da.
Dating white girls.
Hey, they got y'all though. They got y'all last year. Reggie Miller is rolling over in his grave. Now he's like, nah, I'm good. We got this. But the Pistons though, the Pistons will smoke on their Pacers back. That's how I see it, dog. And then they would see the Cavaliers in the second round. You talked about there might be a team that just finds a way to just, if anybody's gonna do it, it's the Pistons. Because like nobody's like y'all play the Bucks right now in the first round. Y'all beat them in 5. Like we've seen enough. If Dame is not playing, that team was already not looking good this year compared to like what they're supposed to be. Y'all should get them in 5, right? Second round, y'all would play the Celtics. That's probably the end of y'all road. Pistons, second round, they'd play the Cavs. If I'm the Cavs, that's the last team I want to see. That's the last team I want to see if I have any aspirations of trying to beat Boston, because you know it's not going to be no pretty boy basketball. It's going to be bad boy Piston basketball for 4 to 7 games. Y'all might get kicked in the nuts, punched in the throat. Hair might get pulled. It's about to get crazy. So to me, if anybody's going to make shit interesting in the East, it's the Detroit Pistons. Shout out to Bickerstaff. Shout out to Cade Cunningham for just, he's an all-star this year. He's really turned into like the leader of that team. Tobias Harris could not do this shit for the Sixers, but hey, go to the Pistons. Everything is normal. I hate the Sixers, bro. Anyway, but yeah, to me in the East, the only thing that's interesting is the Detroit Pistons. So, and it's Boston still lose at this point. All right, let's talk about the West. We're gonna go to like some individual performances as we identify some of these teams, right? So I got the playoff picture pulled up here. We got the Nuggets right now, as we speak, sitting in the 3rd seed. And they're coming off of a game last night where I've been saying it on this show for a couple of weeks. Jokic might be the best player ever. I know I'm being hyperbolic when I say it. I know I'm being crazy, but like when we just sit back, he's only 30. We're in the middle of his career right now. He's won 3 MVPs, I think, right? Yeah, 3 MVPs. He's already getting that Jordan LeBron treatment where it's like, we can't vote for this guy every year. He's already got voters fatigue, but he had a 60-point triple-double. 60-point triple-double. And it's one thing when Luka Doncic does it, guard, like Oscar Robertson or Russell Westbrook or LeBron, like somebody like that. He's your center. And he didn't do it with blocks. He did it with assists. And he's top 5 in the league in steals. He's like top 5 in the league in 3-point percentage, field goal percentage. He's amazing. We look at the Nuggets, right? He's doing everything he can to make that Nuggets team look good. Now, I want you to talk about his performance this year and what are we looking at with them? Because in true Russell Westbrook form, he ruined the whole performance. And that kind of been his MO over the last few years. Like, Russell Westbrook is like the best player to watch. He's just all effort 24/7. But sometimes it's too much effort. He's missing layups. He's fouling 3-point shooters at the end of the game. It's always just too much. So I want you to talk about Nikola Jokic's just him. And then what am I looking at with this Nuggets team?
With this team, it's what I've been telling you about Jokic for like the last 3 years. He's the real deal as advertised.
Oh, sorry, real quick. I apologize. For years, I was on the side of, I used to go at people on Twitter. I used to go at people in the comments. Whoever said Jokic is better than Embiid. Listen, my bad. Okay? If I was able to pick one player on my team between those two, as great as Embiid can be, I'm taking Jokic 10 times out of 10 times. So my bad for making fun of all you nerds in the chats and on Twitter world. I used to be like, oh, y'all just like statistics and analytics. Da, 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 da. No, he is as advertised. Anyway, continue.
I think he's just an amazing player to watch, and you know how they kind of went away from giving the MVP to LeBron year after year after year after year. They found other ways to vote for other players. They're gonna have to find a way to do it for this guy. Otherwise, he just wins MVP every year. And don't call me Mr. Race war guy, but I'm pretty sure the white guy's like, yeah, we got it back, guys, type of thing. Maybe it's just the Boston show I'm watching that and seeing all the shit that's going on with that, which is
How far along are you with that?
I'm in the newest episode,
How many?
4.
So they've done 4 episodes. Okay.
Right now, we're at the golden era of the Great Wide Hope, and of them putting together that championship run, and we're ending on the drafting of Glenn Bias.
So remember, I told you a couple weeks ago, I just watched the Lakers Celtics rivalry thing on 30 for 30, and they were highlighted that shit the same way, like Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge, Larry Bird, Bill Walton, Great White Hope, and then they drafted that Bias, and then obviously we know how that ended up. But yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. Like,
my thing with Jokic though is like the guy is amazing. I can't take away from his talent. To be that great of a passer, that great of a rebounder, and have the offense facilitate through you, and then even at that to be so good that I don't know if he really loves basketball. I like we say all the time, I want to believe that he does, but when that offseason comes, he's ready to go back home and just hang out over there and do his thing. So I look at the West and the shape of it is we said this the other week. Do we bet on Oklahoma City, or are we betting on the field? When you see a guy like that put up a 61, 10, and 10, if this was James Harden, we'd be talking about it more. But if it's Nikola Jokic, and I feel like this guy just doesn't get the credit he has because he's foreign, and the history is showing that foreign players do very well right now in the NBA. I know they're already trying to crown who's the next great American to save the NBA in this draft, and we're hoping it's Cooper Flag because the last 2 years it's been foreign. It's been foreign as the first pick overall, and they dominate every stat coming into the NBA. So who's it going to be? But looking at the West, once again off topic, looking at the West, got to be scared for Denver wherever they're sitting. Wherever they may sit, you got to be scared of that team. That's like my true 1 or 2 right there. And then LeBron James playing with a rejuvenated Luka Doncic on the team. They can make a splash too. You don't have to worry about the headache of Anthony Davis being there anymore. I know you want to go on your thing and say, yeah, he had a good run, but yeah, all things come to an end. Look at him now where he's at. So love Anthony Davis. I'm not taking away from his career, but looking at it now, you got his ring and he didn't come back right from it. And I think this is the type of player you want to pair LeBron with, as weird as it seems. Guards that can play multiple positions. It's like having 2 Magic Johnsons on the court right now. So,
no, Luka's is special. Now, you know how I know LeBron loves Luka Doncic? LeBron has been saying for years, I want to give Anthony Davis the keys. I want him to be the face of the team. And Anthony Davis never took the keys. Luka Doncic has been there for a month. And he's like, yep, shit's mine. Like, there's not a doubt in anybody's mind. This team is now Luka Doncic's team. Like, he's got everything runs through Luka Doncic. I see LeBron James in the corner so much now. I'm like, damn, when did LeBron become a corner boy? Damn, he's a bodega boy now. He looks like he's out there hanging out with Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent. I'm like, God damn. But to kind of stay with Jokic and them, but like it's the thing with the Nuggets, we're gonna probably need Jokic to do this 7 times, and I don't think he can do that right now. Right now, they play the Grizzlies, they sweep the Grizzlies. Then, yeah, they can play the Rockets maybe, or whoever the 7th seed is. They'll probably win that too. It really just comes down to matchups at that point. But the 60-point triple double, like let's really, because you said something very interesting. If it was James Harden, we'd be talking about it a lot more, right? That's crazy because James Harden has done this shit before. James Harden spent a whole 2-3 seasons just 50, 50, 50, triple double, 60, 50, triple double. It was he had a run that was incredible, right? And Jokic seems to be on that kind of run right now. But what we are as fans, we have eyes. And the reason why people love Michael Jordan so much, or the reason why people love Kobe Bryant so much, is not just what the results were, it's how it looked to get to that result. The reason why a lot of people are who are anti-LeBron, a lot of them are more of they want the aesthetic, and I agree. I'm a LeBron fan, you know that. But when you watch Michael Jordan play, yeah, that shit's beautiful. It really is. You watch Kobe play, yeah, that shit is beautiful to watch. LeBron, it's a lot of strategy and thinking and mental and court vision. It's a lot more like cerebral and like a lot of thinking with LeBron. A lot of shit like Mind the Game podcast. He is he defines that. He is a tactician, right? Whereas Jordan, it was just, oh, he's flying. Oh, he's fade away. Oh my God, he switched hands. Kobe, it was like, oh, the jab step. Oh, pump fake, spin. It was just, it's beautiful. James Harden, dribble, step back, three. Then you go to Jokic. A lot more like LeBron. It's just like, stand there, set the screen, look, dump it down, Aaron Gordon dunk. Stand there, step back, ugly three over the shoulder. Oh, cash money. It's different. It doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing. Then you look at the score sheet and you're like, what? 61-10 and 10. What? That's what it is. It just comes down to aesthetics. James Harden, dribble, layup, draw the foul, or dribble, step back, three. Cross you over. They played against the Clippers. He had that dude on the ground. He looked at him. Shot him. Like, that shit's cool to watch. That's what it comes down to as a basketball fan. Right. Did it look cool, or what's the result, right? And so ultimately, I can't wait to the end of Jokic's career to really to see how the story like finishes, because what he is doing is incredible. It's incredible. So big ups to him. But as far as like what they can do in the West, they can very well make it to the finals. They can also very well lose in the first round if they get the wrong matchup. So it's such a weird dichotomy with the Nuggets, because like they really need Jokic to be that good and still lose. Because what we got to remember, 60-point triple-double, and they lost because Russell Westbrook cost them the game, right? And Jamal Murray, he only plays well in the fourth quarter if it's the Lakers. And then you got Michael Porter Jr., who's hot and cold, Aaron Gordon, who's hot and cold. They don't have the bench piece that they used to have. So it's just it's an interesting situation with the Nuggets. It really, to me, is going to come down to who they kind of draw in the playoffs. But Jokic is incredible. And speaking of incredible performances, Steph and Curry, I don't have any words. Like, again, as a LeBron fan, I have honor. Like, people talk about him losing to whatever in the finals. Cool, whatever. He lost to Tim Duncan. He lost to Steph Curry. And then Dirk Nowitzki, he had that magical run where people forget Dirk beat Kobe, Kevin Durant, and LeBron in the same year. So sometimes these things happen. I have such like comfort in my heart to know, he lost to Steph Curry and then Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? Like, Steph Curry is, when you look at your overall view of top 10 or 15 or whatever, where are you? People talk about, is he the greatest point guard ever over Magic Johnson? I don't really classify him as a point guard, but where are you, first of all, with the Steph Curry situation? He dropped 52 last night, 12 three-pointers. Still, they needed all of that for them to even win. But just real quick before I go into the Warriors a little bit deeper, where are you with this whole? Because to me, Steph Curry he's moved up a few tiers for me. Like, I used to have him. Huh?
He's probably in my top 10.
He's probably your top 10. If you asked me this 6 months ago, I would say probably my top 10. To me, he's there. I don't even got no. Probably has been removed. He's moved up to like. I have LeBron and Jordan at the top of the mountain. I have Kobe and Magic right at their tails, and I have Shaq right next to that. Right. I didn't grow up watching Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem. I'd put Kareem. I look at his accomplishments. I put Kareem like 6 or whatever in that next tier. To me, Steph Curry is like, he's in that tier. He might be entering that tier with Kobe and Magic. I'm just saying, where it's just like he's old. Like we gotta go look at his age. Remember, he's not a young pup. This is his second or third 50-point game this season. And it's the way his 50 is different from like a LeBron 50 or Kobe 50. His 50 is running off of screens, running, shoot, running. Like that's a lot of energy that he puts in himself to get to his 50. But that's one thing. Now, let's look at the Warriors. Jimmy, Draymond, Steph, Kuminga, Pajitsky, yeah, Buddy Hield, bang bang. Have you seen? Because have you seen enough from this iteration of the Warriors where you're like, I ain't trying to say that to you. They can really pull some 2022 shit and just run the table and go see Boston again in the finals. You seen enough or not?
As long as Draymond and Steph are there, yeah. They know playoff basketball the best. And Jimmy just throws a better Klay Thompson into the mix now.
Whoa.
More healthy. I mean, as more healthy.
Klay on that team was.
But Klay the last few years was not available, and he did not look the same when they made it.
What has Jimmy done lately? He done shit in Miami.
Sorry, Jimmy has literally gone to the finals with a Luka.
How long ago was that? You talking about now?
Not long, bro. Jimmy is fine. I'm not playing this shit. I'm not playing this KK game. All right. Jimmy is the kind of guy.
Bro, I ain't seen nothing.
Jimmy's the guy you want in the trenches with you. Jimmy is that guy.
He played dominoes in Miami and he got waxed.
Whatever.
But you see it enough? You feel
was Steph there at all or no? Steph didn't play that game. Exactly.
They're 17-2, I think, with Steph and Jimmy Butler in the lineup. Listen. Right now, the Lakers would play the Warriors. The Lakers have had the Warriors number. I think the Lakers would still win that series, but it would be a 7-game series. That's not how you want to start off the first round. To me, I don't want to see the Warriors as a LeBron fan. I know as a LeBron fan. So remember I was kind of switched my allegiance to the Lakers. Maybe I don't know, but so as a quote unquote Laker fan, I know they can beat the Warriors, but that's not how I want to start my NBA playoffs. Like, I'm not trying to see Steph Curry when he got fresh legs now. I'm good. I'm good on that. Have I seen enough though? I've seen enough where it's like, depending on the matchup, they could, look at the teams. The Rockets, yes. The Grizzlies, yes. The Nuggets have won like 11 or 12 in a row against the Warriors, apparently. So I guess not. But still, yes. The Lakers, you have a chance. The Thunder, am I taking Steph or Shea? I'm taking Steph. I'm taking Steph still. So, yeah, the Warriors, they've shown enough. Jimmy Butler, even though Klay's not there, Jimmy Butler is just the next small forward in the equation where Harrison Barnes, Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant, Andrew Wiggins. Like they just plug and play at that same position. So to me, I've seen enough. Draymond seems more motivated, but I don't know. It really like the West is so I don't know. It's interesting, but the more interesting part of that game, I want to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. Your favorite basketball team, your favorite player, Ja Morant. In the words of my dog Brian Windhorst, even though LeBron said he's not his best friend, we still cool, Brian. Ever since Ja said we're fine in the West, it's been downhill ever since. Like, think about it. From that moment on, we've been talking about the Memphis Grizzlies in a negative light since then. On this show, like, oh, Ja with the guns. Oh, Ja with the guns again. Now it's Ja with the guns again. They were a 2 seed at one point this year. They're on a free fall. And then in the middle of March, for a playoff team, they fired their head coach, Taylor Jenkins. I'm hearing Ja Morant might be looking to leave Memphis next year. I'm hearing just so much crap out of the Memphis Grizzlies. So, in the words of Brian Windhorst, A-Rod, what the hell's going on in Memphis?
I don't fucking know, man. You know how I feel about Ja. He was like my favorite player coming into the league, and then he had to slip up and show the gun. We laughed at it. Did it again, and I was like, "Yo, at what point do you realize you've done wrong, or you own up to your mistakes?" But he fights with fans. He fights people at Foot Locker. He still does the gun shooting thing again in the game. Like, dude, I have to like put the blame is definitely on him. It is all on him, but it's the people he chooses to hang around with. Has to be that. And his father doesn't look like the best role model to me, man. I want to believe they came from the burbs and they were all good and they're but I know something about you, all that type of shit. But Pops doesn't look like he's got the best rap right now. And
then don't let him pull up on you like LeBron pull up on Stephen A. Don't you question him as a father right now. As a father?
I'm not questioning him as a father. I think he's a good father, but I think he's acting more as a homeboy than as a dad to his son right now. And I just think this whole Ja Morant thing, maybe it's time for him to leave. Maybe it's time to break the band up. But where's he gonna go? And who wants to put up with? I know he's young. I know the sky is the limit for him. But who wants to put up with his headache? If this is going to be what keeps going on and on and on, I hate to say it, but it's looking like RJ Barrett might be the best one of the three coming into the draft. No issue. Well, he does have the kid. He does have the minor type of thing going on. I don't know if that's legit or not.
Wait, what?
Apparently he hooked up with some minor. I don't know if it's true or not, but
we're just gonna skip this because I don't want to hear about this. I haven't heard this.
But this is months ago. This whole thing with the Grizzlies and getting rid of Jenkins, who I thought was good, an under the radar type coach who can play to the fiddle of a young team and motivate them to do well, and you move on for him? For what reason? What was the reason being?
NBA Insider says Grizzlies primary, again, beat writers, so they're the ones that's plugged in. But this is per Sports Illustrated. They said an NBA Insider says Grizzlies' primary motivator in firing coach involved Ja Morant. He seems to be the common denominator for a few of the things that are, kind of brewing over there. He's only 25. I don't know.
I think when you put your trust into a young kid, there's no problem with that if the kid has the right guidance and he's not making bad moves. This sounds like an organization to me that is scared to lose a star player and is giving him say and stuff. And I think you're messing up as an organization here. They shouldn't be giving him the power to make these type of things or follow the route of this. because this is working. This is definitely working. You're getting the best we've seen out of Jaren Jackson Jr. too. Two-time All-Star under this back-to-back years.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the Grizzlies are doing. I don't know what's going on, but I'm paying attention over there to see what's going to be going on.
What I've learned about being a small market team, you need your superstar that you buy into to be bought in all the way in, right? We talked about Reggie Miller earlier. Indiana is considered a small market basketball team. He was all Pacers, right? Tim Duncan, Mr. Spur. Look at the Portland Trailblazers. Brandon Roy while he was there. Damian Lillard while he was there. Like, they were just bought into that shit, right? Ja, he hasn't played. I think that they look at his stat. I saw a stat earlier. He's only played 65 games once since he's been there. This is like year 5 or 6, once or twice. He's won most improved player 1 year. He's been an All-Star, but he's missed 30 games this year. Last year, he missed a lot of games because of suspension and then an injury. So now he's injury prone. He's already injury prone. And that was what I was scared of with him. He's going to be injury prone. So he's already injury prone. He's getting suspended for shit that he should not be getting suspended for. And now, and while they're free falling right now, you need somebody to be a level head. Like, you just fired your coach. Shit, the shit looks crazy. You can't be firing no guns at Buddy Hill, dog. Is not smart. Like, I know, like, and you know, I'm always trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I can't even defend this one, John. Like, I could defend a lot of the other ones. Oh, he's 22, he's 23, oh, he's young. He's growing up. He's trying to figure this shit out. Bro, you come on. Come on, John. Like, we smarter than this now, dog. We're not doing this dumb shit right now.
I can't defend him anymore. I can't defend him anymore. It's like Kanye. I can't defend him anymore, man.
Oh, that's
can't these men.
We're not putting Ja Morant and Kanye in the same set. Kanye is too far gone.
It's true, but when it comes to guns, like, if there was a claw machine for guns, like, I guarantee you, Ja Morant would be there every day playing that game, bro.
But as a Sixer fan, the reason why I'm a fan of Philadelphia sports, I want everybody to know this. Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson had a lot of this reputation too, growing, like, when he was young, arrested in high school. Georgetown got to Georgetown by the grace of John Thompson, like, got drafted #1. But he always had this reputation of a little edgy, and then made it to the NBA Finals. So the difference is that Ja Morant is not performing at the level as Allen Iverson. He's not available like Allen Iverson, because Allen Iverson, whatever you can say about him outside of the court, yeah, he liked to party, he liked to do, he got in trouble, whatever. But when between those lines, he was locked in. Ja Morant, when he does play, we've seen Ja Morant. It's exciting to watch, but it's like it doesn't have the same, like, oomph that he used to have, and he's been out of the lineup a lot more than he's been in the lineup. It's starting to look a lot more like Zion than it was before. So it just sucks, but they're still a playoff team this year. Obviously they still have a chance to salvage some of this, but I don't know. To me, Memphis is just in a situation where we talk about teams that just need to, like, start over. I don't think they need to start over. They need to move out of Memphis. They need to go to, like, Nashville, because Memphis breeds this kind of, like, energy, grind factory. Everybody is so gritty and I think Ja Morant is exposed to too much of that. He needs to go be on Broadway Street in Nashville, go see some country music stars, kind of just chill out a little bit. You don't got to be so street. Like, you a billionaire, dog. You good. You ain't in the streets no more, dog. You ain't NBA YoungBoy. You're not a rapper. You are none of that, bro. You are a professional basketball player with a whole NBA franchise at your hands. Kids are buying shoes to come see you. Parents are buying tickets to bring their kids to come see you. They ain't trying to see you shoot at Buddy Hield, and they ain't trying to see you sit on the bench. So to me, he needs to have a heart. You talked about the people in his camp. He needs to have a heart-to-heart with the people in his camp. Like, yo, y'all. I don't know. And again, we don't even know if it's the people in his camp. So let's assume that it is, that he needs to change the people in his camp. And if it's not, he just needs to bring the right people around him. Like, yo, what do I got to do so they don't think I'm just this thug? You're like, I don't want to look like that. Like, I was a number 2 pick. Like, I'm better than this. So I still have hope for Ja, but to me, the whole Memphis Grizzlies situation, I think they don't want to pay Ja Morant. They're gonna pull Luka on him or De'Aaron Fox. They don't want to pay Jaren Jackson. They're gonna get rid of it. Like, to me, they don't have the money to do all this shit anyway. So they're too good for their own good. You don't just fire a coach in the middle of the season because Ja Morant says so. No, there's a bigger picture to it. Like, y'all are playing too well and we can't afford this shit. To me, that's how I see it. Like, Dallas Mavericks made it to the NBA Finals, and then they said, "All right, bye, Luka." So
just a couple years ago, we were putting Memphis in the same category that OKC is in now, saying that they were the team that's going to be running the West. And now
that's how they were playing. They were fine in the West. So, but the difference, look at Shea, his personality, calm. We talk about small market team. He's OKC to the core. He got the whole team behind him in every interview. They're all
also foreign. More humble.
Is Canada really foreign? I heard his dad speak the other day. His dad is Jamaican as hell. His dad got that.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you this.
He got that Jamaican shit hardcore. All right. What else is going on in the West? Okay. Speaking of OKC, actually, good segue. Looking at the playoff picture right now, we would be looking at 7, 8. You know how the play-in is. It's 7 versus 8 and then 9 versus 10. Whoever wins between 7 versus 8, they get the 7th seed. And then whoever wins between 9 versus 10 will play the team that loses 7 versus 8. So right now, we have Minnesota at 7, Clippers at 8, Mavericks at 9, Kings at 10. Minnesota and Memphis are tied, actually, at 44 and 32. And the Warriors are just right below them at 44 and 31. If I'm OKC, we could break up the Warriors, but we're going to leave the Warriors out of this. We're going to bring the Grizzlies into this picture. We have the T-Wolves. We have the Clippers. We have the Grizzlies. We have the Mavericks. And we have the Kings. If I'm the Thunder, we're 63-12. We have a chance to win 70 games this year. Who do I least want to play in the first round out of those teams?
Minnesota.
Ooh, Anthony Edwards versus Shea? That'd be dope as hell, dog.
Everybody else is easily beatable.
The Clippers, I don't think they're easily beatable, dog.
I think they are.
Kawhi is healthy right now. Zubac can't be stopped. And James Harden has figured some shit out.
Clippers don't scare me.
I think because you think they're the Clippers still. That's probably what it is.
It's not even that. It's just like it's the fear of the unknown that happens with that team. Weird shit happens with that team. It's with either Paul George playing on that team and claiming himself as the savior and bricking everything, or we've got Kawhi back and he's like, I'm not going to play until, my back is right. Or, something happens, God forbid, I'm sorry to make the joke about it. His house and his family shit burns down and he can't play a couple games there. Like, just weird stuff happens with this team. That's true. It's like, how it should be happening with the Lakers? It's more of the Hollywood show stuff that happens with the Lakers. And it's like weird problems that happens with the Clippers. I don't get it.
Donald Sterling cursed that team. That's what happened.
Yeah, Steve Ballmer, like he's got a good product and a great arena and all this stuff that he's put together, but holy shit, man, it's like can't talk about team organizations that just can't get shit right. all the talent in the world, and then James Harden. James Harden, like you say, he seems he figured it out, but we might get that sighting, 6 points.
Playoff James Harden is not the same.
Yeah. So exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Nah,
I'd be afraid more of Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards talks that shit and backs it up, man. Even if he loses, you are still entertained with what Anthony Edwards.
You don't get the full Anthony Edwards experience with him. No, you're right. When you put it that way, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'm not arguing with you. That makes a lot of sense. All right, cool. All right, let's talk a little bit of NFL. Since the draft is like right around the corner. We know what we need to do. We gotta hit your boy up. Real Bucks Talk. Mike Pless. Because he watches film. He breaks down film. So y'all prepare. Mike Pless, you've seen him on the show before. When he speaks, me and A-Rod are all ears because he knows what the hell he's talking about. So we're going to get Mike Pless on the show soon. Y'all remember Mike Pless in previous seasons. Y'all want to hear that shit. A-Rod, I need you to make that connection happen. We're gonna talk. We talking to you, Mike Pless. We're talking to you soon. Speaking of that NCAA tournament, he did a bracket. I don't remember how he's doing, but we need to figure out who is who, by the way, because there's people.
I know who that. You know who it is. That's that shotgun guy.
That shotgun guy?
Yeah, he doesn't. He just picks the best, man. Like if he tells you that he thinks he knows sports, whatever. Good guess, but he's number one. So.
Shotgun guy is full court prescription. You know who Full Court Prescriptions is?
Who?
That is Diana Dela Cruz. That's Ron's wife. She's number one.
Let's go, Diana.
Shotgun guy is number 2. You know who Go Gators is?
Who's that?
My wife.
Not a girl.
Look at the product that me and Ron put out there. We give y'all basketball genius here. Meanwhile, my dumbass is number 16. And where you at?
15.
Damn. Anyway, let's go. Let's talk some quick hitters. Because we don't want to be here all day. Some quick hitters in the NFL. Tush Push is being tabled till May. I read 16 NFL teams are against it. 16 are for it. The 16 that are against it need to get 8 more to be on their side. When this shit goes probably back on the ballot in May, what do you think is going to happen?
It'd be stupid if they get rid of it. Like, Lane Johnson said it the best. They hate us because they ain't us. So.
You know how I feel, bro. Like, my cousin, I talk about my cousin. He's a Giant fan, Ray. He texted me. He was like, I can't believe they actually want to actually ban a Tush Push. Like, that. How soft is that? When he said that, Giant fan told me that. I was like, thank you. Thank you. Like, try it. Be better at it than us. It's not our fault that our quarterback is better than y'all at doing it. Like that. And we got if they ban it, Saquon squats like 700. We got AJ Dillon now. He squats like 700. Jalen Hurts squat like 700. We fine in the East. We good. But damn, don't be so soft and be like, oh, this is bad for football. It doesn't look good. No, like all these excuses. I ain't trying to hear it. But to me, they ban it, cool. If they don't, cool. We're gonna be fine in these. All right. No Fun League. The NFL is looking to reduce taunting. A lot of celebrations are being banned. They got the CeeDee Lamb one where they do a little slime bullshit. They're doing, the Ja Morant gun first down. A lot of shit. They talked about violent gestures, sexual taunting, thrust. a lot of shit they're trying to remove from the game. Is the NFL doing too much here?
Yeah, they're just soft. They're just soft, and like it's let these boys play. Let them do what they want. Take into consideration, like monitor the celebrations. Like if it's something that's violent, like a Ja Morant type of thing.
Is that even violent, bro? Like, dog, first down.
If it's like I don't know.
First down. Are you really gonna be like, oh my God, he's gonna shoot us? No. Why is everybody so damn sensitive and soft? First down. Oh my God, he's gonna shoot us. What?
No. I mean in the aspects of how Ja Morant is doing it, in the aspects of things like that.
Ja Morant ain't gonna shoot nobody either. He just come on now.
You're fake thug.
So
but at the same time, you're supposed to be a role model to children, and children are watching, the kids are there. It's like, come on.
You want your product to sell.
I can see both arguments, but what I'm saying is monitor it. Don't automatically ban it. Like if a guy's got a signature, let it ride. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? No.
I don't even know. They literally said, the NFL reportedly informed team last week that it's added the nose wipe celebration made famous by CeeDee Lamb as an unsportsmanlike, like the nose wipe. What am I missing here? Like, are the kids going to start doing cocaine now because he's wiping his nose? Oh, slime season. They don't like I don't. When I was, how did you get into the NFL? Like, what was there a player or was it a team that got you into the
NFL? You'll hate me when I say this. The Cowboys, when I was a kid, man, they were that ish. So, okay. And it was on being flashy. What it all comes back to is what we talked about right in the beginning of who's like the softest of them all. They're just all soft. Like all these leagues are getting soft now, and it's sad to see it. Like we're literally watching the NFL turn to two-hand touch. We're watching the NBA back off from fouls and anything like that, and favoring the superstars, and just being a three-point contest. And then we're watching baseball when we fix the problem. When we fix the problem, chicks dig the long ball, right? I guess not anymore. They're gonna go back to not digging the long ball. So it's like, what are we doing here? What are we freaking doing here? Like you said, no fun league. The no fun league has showed up, and I think it's a lot of people who are, if we don't have the competitive advantage, we're going to be upset with it, just like the Tush Push canceling. If you can't replicate, that is the easiest thing to replicate. It is so easy to replicate, but you can't do it. You can't do it because this team perfects it. Like you said, I see other programs run it, do it, but they can't perfect it. And just because you can't and you feel like they have a competitive advantage, no. They probably work on this more than you do. They probably practice this more than you do.
We have a guy named Jordan Mayata who played rugby. It's a rugby scrum. Hello. It's nothing special. It's nothing crazy. It's a rugby scrum. Why is everybody so up in the air? But like to me, that's one thing. But like all the Chad Johnson, Terrell Owens are my two favorite football players, and off like Brian Dawkins is like my all-time favorite. But the reason like why I fell in love with football a lot, Chad Johnson and Terrell Owens. And a lot of it has to do, oh my God, they're about to score. What are they going to do in the end zone? Like, I was looking forward to those touchdowns so I can see what they're going to do in the end zone. And every time they do some shit in the end zone, they throw a flag. I'm like, all right, what are we doing here? I grew up in Detroit. We had Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, the greatest football player I ever watched. I thought he's the best running back ever, and all he did was hand the ball off. I thought that was cool too. Like, don't get me wrong, that was cool. But as a kid growing up, the Ocho Cinco doing his dance, his river dance, proposing to cheerleaders, Hall of Fame jacket, T.O. doing the pom poms, T.O. like I love that shit. So don't ruin the game for me. That's how I feel. I feel like they're trying too hard to appease to a demographic that that cares too much about this shit. The kids don't care. Like, the kids don't care. The 45 and up crew who, I hear them. Trust me. Like, I hear these old people talk about it.
It's like when we just got away from pandering to the older crowd with the Super Bowl, which is amazing because it used to be every year rock music, country music, rock music, country music. You know, we let them have the Are you ready for some football type shit. You know, we got rid of Hank Williams Jr. racist ass, and we bring in maybe a racist country singer, whatever it is, whatever. I don't care, but we have her there, and we got rid of him.
We talking about Jessica Simpson or Carrie Underwood?
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood is a darling. You don't you put no smut on her name. No.
I'm just kidding. But when it comes to the people who watch the NFL, I know all demographics watch it, but who's spending more money? Who's putting it out there? It's a younger crowd. It really
fantasy football, sports gambling. It's that fantasy football and sports gambling, and then the kids. That to me is like in that order of people who are consuming the sport the majority of the time. So
it's just wild to pander to all these different demographics and people, and at the end of the day, it's like, is it really that bad? Because they don't have an identity with it. Like I don't know. There's like corny jokes that I hear from boomers, whatever you want to hear. That I'm like, whatever. But if that makes you feel good, whatever. That I don't care.
Listen, I know what the old people are saying. You know why? Because I'm married to somebody whose father is 71 years old, or he's 70. He tells me, he's like, I remember back in my day, Barry Sanders was just heading off the football. Oh, I remember back in my day, Jim Brown was just heading off the football. Nowadays, so I know what the old folks are saying because I'm around them enough during football games. Like, I go to an Eagles bar, I'm surrounded by old Eagles fans that are like 65 and above. I go to Sarasota and watch these games. They all old. I know, trust me. But when I'm not around them, I'm around the 25 to 45 group where it's like, this shit's pretty normal. And I remember being a teenager and that shit was normal for me. So to me, they gotta chill out. But we're gonna see how that shit looks next year, and I'm very curious to see if it affects anything when it comes to like ratings or anything like that. Because that'll be if it affects ratings, like, okay, now you're messing with the bottom line. I don't think me doing first down is costing me money though. So like sportsmanship, like I'm not gonna be as a player, I'm not gonna be offended if somebody goes touch first down. I'm not offended. Okay. All right. Real quick. Browns owner said that he screwed up with Deshaun Watson. Now what? You think they drafted Shador, or they just knew they screwed up and then that's all it is?
Bro, I don't know. This Shador Sanders pick, like, I keep seeing it all over the board. I see him going I see everybody in love with Cam Ward.
Oh yeah, that's a given. Yeah.
I see
Cam Ward, he won the draft a couple months ago. There was no question with him. Like, yeah, it's a wrap.
But I
Shador, he's either 2 or second round.
I don't know. Like, I see the Saints going after him. I see him like going to a lot of different places. I don't know. The Giants are the wild card here. The Giants and the Browns are the wild card of what they want to do. And the best player in the draft, in my opinion, is Abdul Carter. Whoever gets Abdul Carter is going to be sitting perfect. But I don't know what's going to go on with the Browns and the GM coming out, or the GM is the one that came out and said, like,
he's the owner.
Well, he put his trust into a GM that's very young and very inexperienced, and guess what? They did it again with Myles Garrett too. So I'm not saying it's the wrong move. The guy's definitely got a track record for himself, but you backed up the Brinks truck for him too. So
That's crazy. They've backed up the Brinks truck big time for 2 players over the last 2 years. Big time, big time.
Yeah. And a guy in a Nick Chubb, who I think is wild that they haven't re-signed yet, or they're probably not going to re-sign, is amazing to me. Like, what that guy is the reason you made the playoffs, in my opinion, on offense. It ain't your receivers. It wasn't Odell Beckham Jr. that you went and traded for, who was pissed to be there. It was Nick Chubb.
And remember how the league values running backs.
Well,
yeah, we just find another one.
It's going to happen again. And the teams that know how to value them, they'll be in the playoffs. So I don't know, man. I think that organization, for the owner to even speak or say anything, like, just shut up, bro. Wait till you get a good quarterback and you can come out from under your rock and say some shit. But until then,
but he should say something, because like when they signed Deshaun, with all the shit that was going on with him, Deshaun, everybody was like, "Damn, y'all gave him 230 guaranteed." So to me, I don't blame. I actually give him, like, listen, we live in this world where everybody's so PC and everybody don't want to say what they feel. Bruh, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, dog. And for him to have the balls to say that in public, hey, we swung and we missed. Cool. Like, I'd much rather you just be straight up with me. Like, tell me, don't beat around the bushes. Like, tell me how you feel. So
if I was the right, I'd be saying you've been doing this your whole career here, buddy.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's true. We swung and missed with Johnny Manziel. We swung and missed with Brandon Whedon. We've been swinging and missing for a while.
They didn't miss with Baker Mayfield. They just gave up on that man.
They swung and they missed when they traded. They said, "Now we good." So they've been doing a lot of swinging and missing. So hey, that's shit. That's the Cleveland way. But I don't. Yeah, no, they just. I hate the Brooklyn Nets. I hate the Cleveland Browns. Like, I hate how some of these organizations, if you get drafted into an organization that just you can't overcome, it's like Joe Burrow. He made it to the Super Bowl, and kudos to him for making the Super Bowl, right? But the Bengals that's tough to overcome. The Bengals just suck as an organization. The Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron was there for 7 years in his first stint, and he went on the Pat McAfee show and said, "I gave them everything I had. I had nothing left." That's why he went to Miami. Like, certain organizations, they just don't get it, and a lot of it could be the market that they're in. You can't blame them for the market. A lot of it is just who owned Donald Sterling with the Clippers. Like, they care about their yacht more than they care about the team. Cool, so. To me, the Browns is just one of those organizations that was like, if they draft Shador, can't he overcome that shit? I don't know. Deshaun, can he overcome his demons and their shit? It's a lot.
Here's what it comes down to me. This is what pisses me off. Is like, and this is a no-brainer to me, though, at the same time. Teams like these shitty teams, the Titans, have the first pick. You drafted a guy last year. Was it in the first or second round they went and got Levis? Second round?
That was the year before they got Levis.
Okay.
That was the first pick of the second round.
You're pulling the plug on him once again. A guy that you wasted a draft pick on, pretty high.
Yeah.
Capable starter. We've seen flashes, but for every flash we have seen him fuck up multiple times.
A lot.
Okay. So I get the move on from that. I get that one. But a lot of these teams, it's like they're licking their chops to get the next best one, as opposed to player development, developing these guys to get to where they need to be, and then giving them a shot. Immediately they're just like, okay, you're off the leash, go at it, have at it.
You sound like a Jets fan, because Sam Darnold.
I'm 100% in it. We don't develop talent. Yeah. I looked at the Zach Wilson draft, and I didn't think the kid had the talent. And it's still speaking for itself. I mean, it could be wrong years down the line, and he could have his Sam Darnold moment and mature. I think Sam Darnold was fully mature, but I think he was thrown to the wolves and didn't have a single thing to throw to. Didn't have a single thing to
Keep
throw.
in mind, Sam Darnold had his year. Geno Smith has had a career after the Jets. So there's been
Smith, I saw the talent there. I didn't want it just because I don't think he was mature yet. I didn't think he was mentally mature. It wasn't until he got humbled to being a backup, viewed as a backup only.
Yeah.
Again, his jaw broke. That's what,
shit, but think about it. Yeah, Baker Mayfield became a backup. He was like, I'm out of backup. I'm a number one pick. That's true. That does happen. Where like the ego needs to be checked. And that is kind of like, all right, maybe let me tap back in.
I saw Geno Smith draft day complaining because he was supposed to be the 1 or 2 pick, and he slid to day 2. To him complaining the entire time, looking.
Geno, I think he went like 15.
No, he went second day.
Oh no, that was EJ Manuel.
Because they took EJ Manuel, I think, or some. I don't know. They took some weird guys. And I saw Rex Ryan pissed that they drafted him because they needed a quarterback and they took him, and he wasn't happy with that pick either. So I think with the Browns and even the Titans, you have to, and even the the Giants, wherever you take, if you land one of these quarterbacks, and the Jets too, if you land a quarterback, you better be patient with them because these are some pretty big prospects that you're going to get. And if you're going to just jump ship to go to the next one the next year, I think it just says a lot for the organization. And
Geno Smith, second round pick, number 39. Yep.
I remember that day. I was at Bar Louie watching that shit, screaming.
Bar Louie at the International Mall?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Blue Martini still there?
Blue Martini was still there, yes.
Blue Martini was definitely still there.
Yeah. But
Let me tell you about a birthday I had at Blue Martini. Never mind.
I think with these shitty teams drafting, like, just be patient with these players. I think the Will Levis one is a little smarter to move on from because the kid can't make a right move, and you see the frustration in the head coach. I can definitely see that one, but I don't know. Even at that, I think it's a little too soon too. But hey, I'm not running the organization, but if it's not working and you keep doing it like the Browns keep doing.
Listen, Will Levis be eating mayonnaise out the jar, so that was a mistake to draft him in the first place. So I'm cool with them getting Cam Ward. I'm cool. Very cool with that. Listen, however you feel about Kyler Murray is whatever. Is he a better choice than Josh Rosen? Josh Rosen has not been mentioned since he got drafted top 10. So sometimes you screw up, you wipe your hands clean, you get the next guy. It's that simple, dog. Like Kyler Murray, they gave him a contract again. He's won games. He's been to the playoffs. Josh Rosen, there was nothing they could do. They realized quickly. Same thing with Will Levis. You realize, probably not the guy. Probably not the guy. Sometimes it just be like that. Like, and sometimes the proof is in the pudding. Like, we gave Carson Wentz a contract. We said, here you go. And then we saw Jalen Hurts show up in the second round. We're like, yeah, we're going to get that guy. Super Bowl champs. Thank you. So it'd be like that sometimes. All right. The floor is yours. I'm giving you the floor. You are the MLB. We're going to the MLB real quick. We're going to wrap up the show with your this should be like a segment we call baseball talk with A-Rod, or not the A-Rod that just A-Rod, by the way, the real A-Rod, or the A-Rod that played for the Yankees and the Rangers. That A-Rod. Shout out to him. He just became a majority owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Very random, but shout out to him for pursuing that and actually pulling through with that. We'll see how that does with for the team moving forward. But anyway, the floor is yours. Torpedo Bats, Week 1 initial thoughts across the league. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly on the Torpedo Bat thing, I think it's wild that the entire world is pissed off at the Yankees for what they've done with it. Like, we're the Yankees, okay? We have big bats, we have power hitters, we paid for power hitters. We just happen to have a bat that was made by a guy from Boston, by the way, from MIT, that implemented it to the entire MLB. So we took a chance on it, and it worked.
MIT.
So it happened. A lot of other players started grabbing that bat and using it again. But now, how much more fun is it to watch baseball now with the home run back? Like, it feels good to see home runs coming back. But they want to get rid of this because Vegas probably called and said, "Hey, these bets, they ain't
Listen,
right now."
I'm you know me, I'm a degenerate, right? I have apps everywhere. Underdog Fantasy, they sent me a message 2 days ago. The Torpedo Bats is popping right now. Bet we'll put whatever you want to do on the Yankees. I said, shit. Let me see. Home run.
I mean, it's wild. I think it's great for the sport. I mean, let them try something different because chicks dig the long ball, so we're seeing more home runs. Just a couple of years ago, we were watching the pitchers just duel it out. We had how many what was it? Perfect games or not perfect games?
No hitters.
No hitters thrown. Like there was a lot. And it's like whenever baseball figures it out, comes crashing down because you wanted to put sports betting into it. And Vegas is calling, and Vegas controls all the sports, man. So Torpedo Bats, it's not the Yankees' fault. Just complain to your teams that they don't use them and your better hitters don't use them. It is what it is. It's just the shape of the barrel. Kind of gives you that little league vibe to it where you can just mash the shit out of it with an aluminum bat. That's all it really is. But it is what it is.
Breaking down the science of a torpedo bat. If you were given a torpedo bat when you were playing baseball, how do you feel like they would have changed your game?
How do I feel?
Based on the science of it. It's like even Neil deGrasse has broken down the science of how the bat is proportioned. A lot of the weight got shifted to like the area where the ball would actually hit. So it's like I'm either hitting for a pop fly or a ground out, but at least I'm hitting like my slug percentage. Like basically, everyone's slug percentage is higher now because I'm getting contact. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, I'm getting contact. It really just depends on where the ball is going to land at this point. So so I forgot who said it. Slugging percentage gets you paid. NBA 3-point percentage will get you $20 million a year. Your slug percentage will get you $20 million.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're a contact hitter, you're definitely going to be hitting for more power now with that bat. I mean, I was a contact hitter, so I just placed the ball where I wanted to place it, and that was my style of play. But if you're a power hitter and you're hitting with that shit's going to the moon. So, I don't know. It's fun to see something cool implemented like that. Kind of gives us the vibes starting off as like the early 2000s and the Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa type stuff. But of course, here come the fun police again, and trying to go away with it. Yeah, trying to go away with the bat. And I just think
Michael Jordan. You think Michael Jordan when he was one of the Barons? You think he'd be hitting for power?
No.
With that?
But Bud Selig,
he's the worst, bro.
Bud Selig is the worst commissioner. I know everyone hates Roger Goodell, but I really hate
Roger Goodell's not that bad. He's just
Rob. Let me stop saying Bud Selig. Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred is like the worst.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody likes him and he doesn't like anybody. Like he just is not a player's type of guy or a team's type. Like no one likes the guy.
All right, but like think about was Jazz Chisholm when he was with the Marlins. Was he considered a power hitter?
He did towards the end of his tenure with the Marlins. He was becoming a power hitter. Guy was in like here 20, 30 homers.
He had like what 25 last year, shit like that. Like damn, when did his game become home runs like this shit? I thought he was just get on base and make shit happen. That's what I thought.
At the end of the day, too, like these guys are professionals. They're professionals, and the Brewers are going through a rebuild, so they don't have their ace in Woodruff there. Corbin Burns is no longer there either. And a lot of these guys are new, trying to fit into the scheme of things now. You got that day. You got by a better player. So
I had 20 runs that one day. I looked at my fantasy team. I'm like, do I have any Yankees? Golly, how I got no Yankees on my roster?
yep. So
that shit pissed me off so much.
I bet somebody just because Aaron Judge had a 3 home run, 8 RBI day. So
with no torpedo bat, mind you. So shout out to Aaron Judge.
And I hate
Aaron
that
Judge is different though. So
Rays fans are like the saltiest people in the world. Like Rays fans are like, oh, they saw somebody like put it. EJ had a picture of like the new Yankee glove, and it was like a huge one with Aaron Judge.
Hey, listen, I went to a game. I went to Pittsburgh when they played on Monday. Shout out to Steinbrenner Field for allowing the Rays to play there. Comparing it to the Trop is so interesting because like the Trop is so boring and spread out. The being at Steinbrenner was like it was a lot more intimate. It felt louder because it's 10,000 fans still. The 10,000 fans that was going to the Rays games before, but it was 10,000, but it could fit way more. Now it's 10,000, it can fit like 11,000. It felt more intimate. It felt more like live. It felt better to me. It was a better just overall scene. The only thing I'm gonna hate about this moving forward, it's outside, bro. It's hot as hell, dog. We live in Florida, dog. And it was March 31st. It's gonna be July 15th. It might be a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the humidity is gonna be like 95, later in the day. So that's what I'm scared of. But like I did like the intimacy of it. I love they shot fireworks after the game. You can't shoot fireworks in the Trop. So it was different.
And it has no roof, so
yeah. So it was interesting though. It was an interesting experience though. So shout out to the Rays. To me,
go ahead.
I was gonna say to me for the Rays, if y'all don't show up how y'all showed up for opening week, if y'all don't show up like that for the rest of the year, they're moving the team to Nashville. All right, just don't forget they've already the shit that's going on in St. Pete. They've already like disallowed whatever they had going on. It's back to square one. Y'all need to show that y'all will show up to games in Tampa. All right, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I agree. But from week one, looking at things, I mean, it's fun to see the torpedo bat put into play for teams to use. And the Dodgers are the Dodgers, man. Like they're a wild team, man. Them boys are wild.
Amazing.
Fucking wild, man. When you have
I watched one game, it was when Mookie Betts hit a walk-off home run. I was like, golly, this team was good.
People hate good franchises. Like, I mean, I can attest to it. I hated the Patriots because they were a good franchise. But
I love the Dodgers. I don't even know why. I'm a Phillies fan.
I've always loved the Dodgers, even when they were trash, before they got all this money to start getting players again. But the Dodgers and a lot of these organizations that are good, they put together a good core of players and they keep them and they run with it. They don't recycle. Yeah. They don't look dumb. They don't make bad signings. They don't make bad moves. And if there's one bad apple in the group or something that happens that's bad, get it gone immediately. Get it gone immediately. So you just got to be happy for teams like that. And of course, root against them. But I don't want to hear Rays players cry about your growth. Like, your owner hates you so much, you won't even put a new roof on the fucking place.
There's a lot of work to do that. That's why.
Yeah.
Have you seen that shit? It's a lot of work.
Big bro has to bail you out and let him use your fucking our stadium for you to play in. And I guarantee if anything would have happened, we had to take that shit away from the Rays, they'd be like, we can't play because we got nowhere to go,
Yeah, no. They did a good job. Like, it feels, even though it's Steinbrenner, when I was there, I'm like, it feels like a Rays game. Like, it feels like a Rays home game, which was good. So I like that a lot.
Nice.
So, all right. We'll attack a lot more of that next week. We're gonna get Mike Plus on the show soon. The draft is coming up soon. So let's wrap this up real quick. Anything you want to let your naysayers know this week?
Stop complaining about the Torpedo Bats because your team uses them too. Shut the fuck up.
Ah, shit. My naysayers. Hey, what did Geno Smith say? They try to write me off.
I ain't right back.
I ain't right back. I'm just saying the universe is trying to write me off. I guess I'm just not gonna write back. That's all I'm gonna say. Though. I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. Where can they find us at here?
You can find us on Twitter at fair_weatherpod. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Search the Fair Weather Podcast. Where you subscribe or listen to podcast audio, search the Fair Weather Podcast. Catch us. Catch us there. Take it away.
You know what? Yeah, back to the universe. They don't let the universe try to write you off. Shit might get a little gray, might get a little cloudy, but I guess we'll never know. That's my message to the world, dog. Let the universe never know. Never let them see you sweat. Never let them know your next move. That's all I gotta say. Peace.